You find your PBS folder. Sorry. Okay, so in this case we're doing Afghanistan 1 month.pbs, right? You upload it. It goes here. So now you have it in your home area. Okay? Now in this PBS folder, in this PBS file, which we were editing here, we're telling it what? Any text editor. I happen to be using Sublime, but you can use whatever text editor you want. I've said to change the directory to Scratch, which is where I will save the do file that I want it to run and any data that are needed to run it, right? It will all go into this casualties file. Okay, so I need to now go to my Scratch file, okay? Scratch. Oops. How did that? Okay, RJS. It's me. And then inside the casualties folder, I have the do file that I need. I have the 2 data sets that in the do file I noted that I needed, right? And so with this PBS file, which is now loaded into home, and the stuff that it refers to, which is in the Scratch area, I can literally tell it to run the job. Okay, so I'm just going to do the entire process now from start to finish. Okay, so
You can't run it because we don't have the data, right?
I can give you the data if you want it. I mean, it's not very exciting. I don't know how to exit this thing. Let's quit. Quit. I'm going to close everything, and then we're going to start from the beginning. So you can see how, okay. So we want to run something on the cluster. What do? We start with the terminal. SSH, HPC tunnel, right? Okay, you got to put in your password. You can follow along if you want to, or just watch. Then you go to Mercer, right? Type in your password again. Okay, that's annoying.
No, try to 0 doesn't work. No, 7. 0 doesn't work, try to. Okay, that's second attempt.
Okay, so now I'm on Mercer. So the next thing I need to do is, make sure I don't miss a step. Yes, go to Fugu. So open up Fugu, Launchpad, Fugu. So I'm already on the cluster, right? Now I go to Fugu. Connect to localhost. Oh, first thing I need to do is to create my, wait, what do we put here? Mercer. And then, wait, let me make sure that I'm not messing this up. Was it? Okay. 22,820. Okay. Got our tunnel, connect to localhost, and you can save all this information to the as a favorite, so you don't have to type it in every time. And I saved all my passwords, so it's doing it automatically. And now we're logged in. Now if we hadn't done anything, we would be uploading the DTA files to the Scratch, uploading the do file to the Scratch, and then uploading the PBS file to the home. Okay. And then once we have all that, I believe, yeah, we just need to submit that PBS. Okay, which is done through something called qsub command. Submit, and I forget what the name of it is. copy. Oops. This is very annoying. Oh my god.
Enter on the file, and then it will want to rename it that way. You can copy it. Or that.
Okay. And now it started the job. So we submitted that PBS file that we saved in the home area, which is referencing the do file. We changed the directory, reference the do file. The 2 data sets are there. And it's now assigned a job to it. And now, very, very cleverly, it will send me an email once it starts. Which apparently it hasn't yet. Check jobs. 1833.
You can do
What is it?
qstat space /u. No. Slash -u.
Okay.
And then your ID.
There it is.
So it's still queued.
It's still queued, yeah. So we now have this job, which is, I've requested 30 hours, 10 gigabytes, one node, and it's in this particular queue.
Why do you request one node and not more than one? Or is that
So if you're like doing something that's like really in parallel, where you can have multiple processors doing it, in this case, Stata can't like manage more than one core at a time. Actually, maybe this version can. I definitely wasn't doing it with the do
And
file.
what's the benefit of doing it on the cluster versus your computer?
So you can do a bunch all at the same time, and if it takes 30 hours, it's not running on your computer for 30 hours. So this, for example, this procedure that I'm running usually takes about 3 or 4 hours to run
On the cluster?
on the cluster.
And on your own computer?
Probably like 2.5 hours. It's a little bit slower.
Slower on the cluster.
Yeah, but that's for each one, right? So I could set like 10 of them, and they would all be done in 3.5 hours. If I did it on my computer, each one would have to finish before I could start another one.
Are you gonna talk about like help files so that you can do a lot of tasks in parallel without like having? Because right now, if you want to run whatever 7 jobs,
Yeah.
you have to type in each one.
Each one, yeah.
So,
Well, I wasn't sure how long this was going to take, so I don't have slides on help files, but Drew has some nice slides on help files, which we can look up. And so yeah, if you want to do a helper file, you can basically tell it to run like any number of jobs all at once. So let's say you need to do like 100 things. You basically submit one thing, and then it requests a whole bunch of spaces on the cluster. And
do you have an example of that on your own?
I haven't done that, no. Because most of mine are just like things that really take a long time.
Yeah.
But we can look at yours if you want, because we have plenty of time. So let's, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check this. But let me finish what we're doing here first. Okay, so this has started. It's been running now for 2 minutes. So what we're going to do, sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to wonder, when it says you're in such and such position on the queue, is the queue just first come, first served, or is there?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
There's like an algorithm behind the scenes that they use to figure out where to slot things.
Yeah.
There's
I think they like troll the web for pictures of you, and if you're cute, you get
that's
moved
right.
up.
If you're already flagged by the NSA, you're not getting on there.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I mean, it's kind of a network, you know what I mean? Everybody. Okay, so now we see that my thing's been running for 2 minutes now, and so we can go back to Fugu and go to our Scratch, because remember that particular PBS was running out of the Scratch. Type in RJS 538. Okay, so that's great. It's running. We see that the log file was updated at 9:14. That's good. It's created the new data where everything's being stored. So let's have a look at, let's go to the desktop here and download the log file as it is right now. Okay, open that up. And now we can look at the log file, which,
Did you code in that % complete thing?
yeah, It's in the program that I wrote.
Stata 30, there's another thing called dots.
Yeah.
That'll automatically do it for you.
Nice.
I think you don't have to code it in. I've never used it, but I think it exists.
So in this particular thing, I'm looking at distances between lots of different data points. So I've installed the Euclidean metric thing there, which basically takes two latitude and longitude and then computes the distance, including the curvature of the Earth. And then, so then I have this program that I wrote that does it.
Where's the percent complete?
And then down here, yeah. So it counts the number of observations. Yeah, so it's within the loop. It figures out how far along we are within the loop, and then divides it by the total number by 100, and then, and so then I put in the arguments for the program. So this is between 1 and 10 miles within, what is that, 30 months? And then that's the name of the thing. And so when we last checked, that first one, because I believe this is running a whole bunch of them. This is running, oh no, this is only running one. It's,
So is it possible, so you're telling in the PBS thing you're asking it to do one do file?
yep.
But within that do file you can,
No, within the PBS you can tell it however many do files you want it to do.
so that's the helper file that,
No. A helper file can have you do multiple PBS files.
well, it doesn't matter for Stata, if you can, within the PBS document, if you're asking it to do multiple do files.
So the difference is that,
by one.
exactly. So if you do multiple do files in one PBS, it will do them in order, in serial, right? And in that case, you're going to have to ask for a lot of time and a lot of memory, right, to do that. Whereas if you do what Jim's talking about, you can do a bunch of jobs simultaneously, and each one will be asked for individually in the queue, right? So it kind of depends on what you want to do.
Can you do this remotely, or do you have to be at NYU?
You can do it anywhere. So that's why we set up that whole SSH tunnel thing, so that anywhere you are, you can do it, as long as you put in your password. Yeah. Okay, so this is running, and then if it has an error or when it finishes, it will send me an email with this whole thing. What's the job ID, PBS job ID, job name, and then where it happens to be being done. And then it tells me it's begun execution. And if it has problems, it will also send you an email. So if you get 2 in a row, you know that something's gone wrong. So that's the end of my slides right now. So let's take a quick break so I can get some water because my voice is suffering. And then we can get into individual questions or that kind of stuff.